It says that in the book of Micah, I believe.
Yeah, Micah 2:10.
So it says this is really not our rest. It was at one time pertaining to our forefathers, the Native Americans, but this is a polluted land that said the habitation of devils and the hold of every foul spirit and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Those are those women too. Right. Unclean and hateful birds are all those women.
They call them birds.
That's
you
right.
got a girl that's a slut, they call her a bird. It's a chicken.
They didn't even know they're in prison. This is a cage. It's a hold. It's not a free land. That's all. That was always a lie to get you to buy into their false philosophies and their way of thinking. This is a cage. This is a prison for the Lord's people.
That's right.
A nation of exile. That's why it says it on that sign. A nation in exile.
Alright. Yeah, so this great whore, she wants to fucking exalt herself so much. Alright, that she thinks she's a ship. But guess what? This is what's gonna happen. Read that. Isaiah, yeah, from 14, from 12 to 13.
From 12 to 13. So, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 12. How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer?
Yeah, how art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer? How the fuck did you fall off the dragon from off your ride from heaven, man? Because what? You exalt yourself so much. Alright, but guess what? You fell off. You know, you was going on and shit, you know, you didn't have the rope, you know, like guys riding a bull.
Right,
you know,
right.
And then, you know, the rope, he loses control of the rope and he falls off. He gets kicked right, you know, he gets kicked right off. Alright, go on.
Son of the morning, how art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Yeah, son of the morning, because Esau is known as Lucifer, which that's talking about. That means the light bearer, man. All right, and who was the light bearer of the earth? The son of the morning of the earth, Esau. All right, what did it say?
The last part.
Wickedness.
The last part.
It said, which didst weaken the nations.
Yeah, which did weaken the nations, man, because Esau, you know, he went around, you know, he spread his democracy, you know, spread his religion, all his beliefs, you know, he milked the shit out of these other nations, you know, the Middle East, of the oil, all that shit, man. You know, he weakened the nations, pretty much. Go on.
Verse 13, for thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven.
Yeah, I will ascend into heaven. He thinks that he's going to go above and beyond, you know, the power of YAHAWASHI. Go on.
I will exalt my throne above the stars of the Most High.
You see? He's going to try to exalt himself. And how is he going to try to do that? The RFID microchip, man. All right? Go on.
I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north.
The mount of the congregation, man. That's talking about all these other nations, because Esau is going to ultimately try to rule the whole earth through his new system, the mark of the beast, the NFC system, the chip. Okay?
Yeah, and the sides of the north is talking about North America. That's why it's called North America.
Yep.
This is one of his main enterprises that he set up. This kingdom surpassed all other Edomite kingdoms. British, Rome, Russia. This country right here surpassed all of them. You know, so that's Esau saying in his heart, he will ascend, he will, you know, his kingdom will be greater basically than anybody else's on the earth, including the nation of Israel.
Yeah,
that's the size of the
congregation.
Yeah.
The amount of the congregation is the Israelites, and they're ruling over us.
Exactly.
You know, the scripture sometimes is twofold. Sometimes it's speaking about, you know, the stars, but it's also, we are the stars of God, the Israelites. It says that in Revelation, I believe 12 and 1.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, the 12 stars. So we are the two superstars of the earth, the Israelites. And the God put these people over us. They're ruling over the mountain of the congregation on the sides of the north. North America is being controlled by the devil, and underneath them are God's stars, the Israelites. We're the congregation of the Lord. So they try to exalt themselves above the stars, literally, and also symbolically, you know what I'm saying? Because we are God's, in the Bible, we're known as the stars of God. So they have an international space station, they have their space program, satellites, they have their Air Force and all that, the stealth bombers. They exalt themselves in the clouds and above the stars of heaven, symbolically and in reality, physically.
So going back to Revelation 18, verse 9. And the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning.
Yeah, they're gonna pretty much be like, oh my gosh, what's going on, they're gonna pretty much feel, kind of feel sorry for her or whatever. But really, ultimately, these nations, all right, really hate Esau, man, because this is how it goes. If you think about it, it's like having someone that pretend that they like you. They're gonna kind of show as if they like you, but really they wanna fuck. They wanna do something wicked to you. All right. So when they blow this shit up, it's that's it, man. They're gonna enjoy it, because really these other nations really hate Esau, man, because Esau is the one that that's pretty much responsible for the way they are right now, their condition. Right.
And like you said, if I can add on, it says, and the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. Again, it's talking about the trade, all the trade deals that made these nations become, rich, because America is a mostly consumer-based country.
Yeah.
So when these ships that are coming from China and all other parts of the earth are going to be on their way to Babylon to trade and get their money, America's going to be burning up. So they're going to be wailing. They're going to be like, what are we going to do? This is going to destroy our economy. Because we had intentions on getting paid off of this such and such, this oil or whatever resources it might be. So because America's going to be destroyed, that's going to damage their economy. So they're going to be wailing and lamenting. They don't really give a fuck about America. They care about their own country now. And they're going to have to turn back around with all those goods and go back to their country, but ultimately YAHAWASHI is going to destroy all of those nations. So China, you don't got next. None of you other nations got next. That's something that the Chinese, the Moabites believe in, that they're coming in next after America. They're not coming in next. Because once America's economy crashes, China's economy is going to crash too. All world economy is going to crash.
That's right.
Once the American dollar falls, so that's the point though.
That was good. That was smart.
Read back the scripture.
You could go on.
Yeah, verse 10. Standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come.
Yep, for 1 hour, man. 1 hour, this shit is gonna burn, man. All right, and these other nations, they're gonna be fucked up also.
That's
all right.
right.
But at the same time, they're gonna be glad, because this shit is gonna burn up, because this is a nation responsible for their condition, like the brother just said, concerning the trade stuff. Right? Esau, once this shit goes down, it's gonna affect other nations too. So they're gonna bug out, man.
Verse 11. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yeah, because everything, once the stock market goes down, the trade and all that stuff is it's really going to become irrelevant. But really, that's talking about when America's economy goes right down the ground, because the dollar is not going to have any value anymore. So why would you want to trade with someone that has someone else's money that has no value? You're not going to benefit from that. That's why it says the merchants there of what?
It says, and the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, for no man buyeth their merchandise anymore.
Yeah. So no one's gonna want to have deals with America financially.
And also, to add on, a lot of these countries are dropping the American dollar right now.
Yeah.
China, Russia, they're trying to create a new economic system, their own economic union. Because pretty much the beast is coming out of power. The EU, all right, the economic union is coming out of power. So these other nations could see that already. So they're trying to ditch the American dollar, the petrodollar, and make their own economy, because they can see that America's about to fall and collapse.
Yeah, because really, if you think about it too, America is a great whore. So after you fuck a whore after so many times, it's like, bitch, get the fuck out of here, man.
That's right. That's right. Verse 12. The merchants of gold and the silver and precious stone, and of pearls and fine linen, and purple and silk and scarlet, and all fine wood, and all manners of vessels of ivory, and all manners of vessels of the most precious wood, and of brass and iron and marble, and cinnamon and odors and ointments and frankincense, and wine and oil, and fine flour and wheat, and beasts and sheep and horses and chariots, and slaves and souls of men.
So that's how Esau That's how the great whore has exalted herself because of all those things to the point where she believes she's above the stars. And like the brother said earlier, the star represents symbolically the elect.
Right.
All right, but ultimately it's talking about YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Ultimately, okay, she believes all the stuff from the earth, and really that stuff belongs to us. All right, because it came from us. You know, so Esau, man, he had a lot to pay for, pretty much. You know.
And like I said, the last two things said enslaves and the souls of men.
Yeah.
And when you go, you can look it up on Google. Human trafficking, sex trafficking, is one of the top 3 black markets in America. That's how they make a lot of money. They make billions every year off of basically human trafficking and sex trafficking. You know, which is selling men, selling people, selling souls. Also, the music industry, you gotta sell your soul. So they making money off of people selling their souls. That's how they getting rich. That's how they're waxing rich, you know, America. It's not through righteousness. Continue on. Verse 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after are departed from thee. And all things which are dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
Read that from the top, that says from the fruits.
Verse 14. And the fruits that thy soul lusted after.
Yep, and the fruits represents rulership, man. Represents rulership over the Heavenly Father, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. All right? Esau lust that power to be a ruler over everything. You know? Go on.
Are departed from thee.
Yeah, are all departed from thee because look, getting burned up, man. For in 1 hour, all that shit is gonna become nothing but, you know, ash, man. A remembrance. Okay? You have a question, sir?
Verse 14. And all the things which were dainty and goodly are departed from thee, and thou shalt find them no more at all.
Yeah, all the things that are what?
Are good, are dainty and goodly, are departed from thee.
Are dainty and goodly. And what is that talking about? I'm talking about Esau using the good, the bad as good, and the good as bad, man. Esau, this is considered bad in the eyes of Esau. You know, but really we're ultimately out here just trying to become the elect, man. The nation of Israel. All right, to the will of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. All right, so because we're doing this, all right, it's preventing Esau, the left-hand side, from ultimately pushing, bringing in, you know, his rulership. All right.
Remember the good and dainty. There's such thing called the 1%. These people have a high way of living, bro. I've seen in Wall Street, they got places, chocolate, they sell chocolate. Some of the chocolate be $200, bro. $300 for a little strip of chocolate, you know what I'm saying? They got steaks to be $100 steaks. That's the good and the dainty, you know what I'm saying? We haven't even seen, common people haven't seen all the place where Esau lives, how they live. If we do, there will be a revolt in this country. How some of the 1% live. I've worked in security in certain places. The real estate that they have in the city, different places in this country, that shit'll take your breath away. Damn, this is how they live, because they rob from the people. They rob from the people. They have, that's the good and the dainty. There's gonna be no more good and dainty in this country, because it'll be up in fire.
Right.
Like, so let me finish off with that. Let me Ezekiel 25 and 17. So we're gonna finish off pretty much with this last precept. Through the spirit of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI.
25 and 18.
25 and 17.
17. This is Ezekiel 25 verse 17.
So this is what's gonna happen ultimately to Esau, man. All right, because Esau, the great whore, has exalted himself over the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, man, over the saints. All right, and so because he's done that, for all the things he's put us through, you know, slavery, captivity, and even right now he's speaking. All right, this is what's gonna happen to him.
Ezekiel 25 and 17. And I will execute great vengeance.
Him, YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, right? Because vengeance belongs to YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI. Go on.
Upon them with furious rebukes.
Upon them, which is Esau, with furious rebuke. Because Esau believes, again, he's gonna ultimately become he's gonna always stay in power, you know. But YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI is gonna rebuke that, man, with his vengeance to his saints. All right, go on.
And they shall know that I am Yahawah.
Yeah, and they shall know that I am Yahawah. And also, that's not only applying to 2/3, but that's also applying to the left-hand side of YASHARAHLA. Because if you go back to Jeremiah 4:22, it tells you that this is a Scottish children, all right? And ultimately, they're gonna know know that He is Yahawah through death by pain, all right?
It says, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them.
Yep, when He shall lay His vengeance upon them. All right, because obviously them has to be more than one. So it's mainly talking about Esau, and it's talking about the 2/3, and then followed by the other nations. But first, it's going to begin with the house of Israel, man. The house of Israel. All right, that's it pretty much. You know, so with that, you know, we hope you were edified, you know, to the spirit and power of YAHAWASHI, YAHAWASHI, and, you know, double honors to the apostles and elders of GREATMILLSTONE. All right, and salutations to, you know, the Bayah Dawadah. All right, and all praise first and foremost to Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI. All right, and with that, we're going to say Shalawam.
Shalawam.